Hey everyone, welcome to Awesomenauts Dojo North America 1 tournament stream. This is FrogZone, and I have here right next to me Fawx. Here he is.
Hey, welcome to the stream, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and thank you to all the competitors that showed up. And thank you, special thank you. I see you in the chat right now. Heart-shaped net donated so much money to the prize pool, so thank you so much. Everybody give some kind of reward in gratitude to Heart-shaped net. Thanks so much, dog. This stream is honestly just dedicated to you. This is the Heart-shaped net stream. Yeah, to kick off this Heart-shaped net stream, we're gonna have his team playing against That1Team. That is Holla, Pyro Cheese, and Celty himself versus Dino Sour, Heart-shaped net, and Sable? Yes, Sable. All right, so we're going to throw over the first game over to our commentators. We have Ubrancy and Oswald, the lucky rabbit, the Snyder's man himself, casting for this first match. So I'm going to, without further ado, hand over the match to them. And so they'll introduce themselves. So thank you all for tuning in, and I hope we're ready for this crazy stream here. So without further ado, the first match.
Well, I believe there's a bit of Twitch lag, but I believe that's an introduction for us. Is that correct?
I think we've got to start talking. We're not gonna. I don't think
that was
we're
it.
gonna
I was trying to anticipate the cue, but like 15 seconds in the future. So I'm like, all right.
Yeah, it's like, wait, all right, I gotta put all my, I gotta put like all my IQ just into this. I just gotta focus. What's the delay? I gotta figure it out.
And you know who else had to focus, Uber? The fantastic teams that were playing in this tournament, including That1Team and PubPlays. You like that segue? That was pretty sick.
Ooh, aren't you fancy? What a good commentator. What a good caster.
But yeah, so we will glad everyone can be showing up. Obviously, we're very excited to help out with this stream. This tournament, I think, was a fantastic job of organizing it. Of course, also the shout out to Heart-shaped net for donating it for the prize pool of over $500.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane, especially for a regional exclusive tournament, considering this is NA only. That is an insane prize pool. I haven't seen a prize pool like this in a while for a tournament, so this is actually really exciting for me, too. So this will be interesting. It'll be fun to cast these games, and, well, I'm excited for the Awesomenauts.
Absolutely. I mean, this kind of prize pool is not something you see every day. So with that being said, we do have the quarterfinals, and suppose we don't need to stall that much more. We can just kind of jump into the draft. You good?
Absolutely. Alrighty, would you like me to get started on the draft, or do you want to start us off?
Awesome. You go ahead. You go ahead.
Alrighty, so, as we've already said, we have T1T. I forgot what their team name is already. I've just had a massive brain fart.
That1Team, but you can also read it as like an AC/DC reference. T1T Dino.
Oh my god. Okay.
I got it out of my system. You can go.
Alright, there you go. Now no more. Alright, so yes. That1Team versus PubPlays. That1Team going to be the blue team in this draft with, or actually no, they're going to be team 1 in this draft with PubPlays going to be team 2 in this draft. And so the first ban is going to be Sentry from That1Team. So an interesting first ban, but nothing too crazy. Sentry is definitely good at locking down opponents, even if he isn't as strong as maybe he was a while ago, a long time ago in the old days. But either way, the next ban for That1Team is going to be Leon, who is a great initiator on Ribbit and just in general. Even if he isn't the like S tier initiator or lockdown character, he is still a very viable pick. And the bans for team 2 PubPlays are going to be FrogZone and Skull. So Skull here, he's definitely like, he's good at just getting into a whole team's face and just throwing them to your turret, and then that can set up an easy wipe. But he's also great at getting good damage with his long range and high damage punches, and well, burst because of the combo mechanic, as well as the stun punch and just being able to throw out DOT in order to poke with a surprisingly low cooldown. And FrogZone, good initiator, great damage on Tornado if he can stay in it and doesn't get stunned out if it or interrupted in any way. But enough about the bans. Going over the picks for That1Team, we have Penny, Coco, and Lux as the picks for That1Team. So I'm seeing a lot of good poke with missiles, Coco Ball, and Penny with the pulse as well. a solid amount of damage, a little lacking in the push, I suppose, but you've got a nice amount of beef when you have the Jimmy on your team and being able to initiate and knock people back with the Coco Ball or pull people back with the charge into your own turret. It can definitely work out, especially in a map like Ribbit where the turrets are fairly close together, especially on that top lane. And for Team 2, PubPlays, their picks are going to be Raylan, Chucho, and Yuri. And maybe it's just because I haven't been playing this game that much in the last month or so, but I have not seen Yuri in competitive in a while. So that'll be interesting. But he's definitely good on Ribbit. Ribbit is like his good maps, if I would say anything. But either way, do you have any striking thoughts about these team comps at all, Oswald?
Yeah, I mean, the note about Yuri, I think, is definitely, it's not, if there was one map that you're going to see Yuri on in this tournament, it would definitely be Ribbit, because obviously the area control, when you're controlling that middle jump pad area, is just so key. I think you can kind of tell, we don't technically have the order in front of us, but we can kind of tell that it's not out of the realm of possibility that PubPlays picked the Yuri and then in response to That1Team banned the Leon, because that's not a combo that's very fun to deal with. The tongues into mines. That's something that's there's not a whole lot of counterplay, especially when you have an almost entirely melee team out of That1Team. If they're trying to do any kind of clearing or pushes, then they might be stepping up a little bit more than usual. I can definitely see how that would make sense. Same with the Sentry ban. I think that's been a pretty common first ban or first pick throughout this tournament. Sentry is just a very solid setup. Not a little maybe surprised about the Skoldir ban. I actually haven't seen that a whole lot, but that might be just from confidence of knowing. In fact, I believe Hala on That1Team plays Skoldir a bit. It might be just a matter of them not wanting to be screwed over too much by a throw. But honestly, I would have just echo your thoughts. I think there's just a lot of team fight potential on T1T's side. For PubPlays, they're definitely more ranged, definitely more geared towards clearing. Yeah, I'm just I'm curious to see what these kind of two different play styles kind of interact with each other.
Yeah, both teams have a great amount of poke, and That1Team I'd say has a little bit better team fight potential. But you've still got 2 time slows on the other team, plus a lot of range and poke, and area denial as well with the mines. So it could go either way. I feel like the team fight is just better on That1Team, so we'll see if that makes a huge difference if they start snowballing. But either way, we've been talking long enough. I'm ready to get into the match, and I don't think we're actually counting it down. We're actually waiting for someone to give us a countdown to start the match. Oh,
sure. Yeah, I've got my replay loaded up, and I think we are all ready.
All right, you guys ready to go?
I think so.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, and we are started at the 25-second mark with That1Team, Hala, Pyrocheese, and Celsi versus PubPlays with Dinosaur 49, Sable, and Heart-Shaped Net. And the gates are about to open in 3, 2, 1, and here we go. And we've got Chucho getting to the mid first because of his wonderful Ramona. And the first item's coming out as well, as they usually do. You've got Micey the Mech Pilot, which is a fantastic looks upgrade for area denial, which would be fantastic against Yuri. Celsi actually running the Gun Penny, so gonna have a lot of range with that. Celsi gonna eat a mine there as well, and be at about half health, getting stuck in the timer. One snipe could potentially kill him, trying to poke the Dinosaur, but he's gotta be careful he doesn't get too greedy. And Sable here gonna fall back to the top right. And, well, ooh, a nice stun there onto Raylan, and she's gone. Oh, no.
Nope.
Coco. Good Coco pulling through. Oh, he's going to get it. Hala's going to pick up the first blood of the match, and Heart-Shaped is going to go down.
And I got to say, as we were going through the picks, you were talking about the importance of poke to That1Team strategy here. I definitely think that, first off, it's very good because it means that before blue team can even start a fight, they're going to be at least missing a lot of their health because of this poke. I think that's why you've seen the first item come out of, first upgrade come out on Coco be that cooldown. They really just want to have that poke available as much as humanly possible. So that's definitely falls in line with the playstyle that they're going for here.
Cooldown on Coco was just a fantastic upgrade. I mean, you have Coco Balls every 4.5 seconds, with Hala actually taking a lot of damage there. He is going to live though, going to go grab that health back in the Solar Boss area. And Heart-Shaped Net sitting in the top of mid with Sable throwing down some mines. So yeah, this is why you got to be careful. If you just jump up that jump pad, you could very easily die. Heart-Shaped, oh, Pyrocheese is going to eat both those mines, but he has the shielding in order to keep him alive. And Heart-Shaped going to miss the snipe on Celsi. I don't think it would have killed, but you never know. Celsi going in with the pulse, but not too much. The snipe is going to miss again, unfortunately.
And this is a situation that that blue team has to try and take advantage of. When That1Team is lit and they have to back up, they have to play aggressive. They have to take the mid control, because if Yuri doesn't have the mid control, this is perhaps a problem with Yuri and why he's not picked as often as you might think he would be. is he is not that good when you're behind and when you don't have the position. It's a little bit more awkward to catch up in terms of just coming from behind if they're already if the other team is pushed up in the lane when you're a Yuri. Oh, and the interruption of the teleport on the Chucho. He did get a sticky bomb off, but he's going to go down, and Hala will survive with just a couple of bars.
Unfortunate, just in the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong timing. So he's going to go down, and that's going to make it 2-0. So Red Team actually has a master advantage. Heartshape's going to get charged straight to the turret, but Pyro is taking so much damage. Heartshape is just going to have to run, but he's very, very hurt. Celsi's going in, he's going to get the claw attack and going to pick up the kill. Coco is going to be there as well. Hall is going to be there in order to help out Celsi, and that's 3-0 now for the Red Team. So not looking too good for PubPlays here.
Absolutely, and this is not what you would want if you are running the Yuri. As we said, we definitely want to kind of take control. Oh, he tried to go in with the bubble. It would have been a nice initiation.
Stable.
Looks like he's going to get away thanks to the bubble. He did.
All right, I'm not. That's fine.
Just barely.
It's just the mind games, you see. Like,
absolutely.
That1Team just wants to get in the enemy's head, just scare him off,
Yeah, and they're having the abilities to be able to do that, all that poke, and their teamwork is definitely being shown on display. Like just the way that on those last couple of kills, the way they just collapsed on them right as soon as Celsi was down to 1 bar on Penny. ONC charged, not going to connect, just going to hit droids. But they're collapsing at the exact right moments. They're like very swift and moving between the lanes, which is impressive considering that a Yuri is trying to shut down their primary method of switching lanes, which is that jump pad. So a really great movement here by That1Team.
Yeah, really. And Pyrochi is going to get the double charge. He's going to eat a sticky bomb. He will probably go down here, but no, he's going to live. And 2 kills are going to come out, not a double kill. Pyrochi's picking up the kill on Raylan, and Coco picking up the kill onto Chucho. And that's going to make it a 2-0 with poor little Yuri, the poor monkey, going to be standing by himself. And I don't think Peter will be here to save him today, as he's going to take a ton of damage from Hala, and the pulse is not going to connect. And Raylan and Chucho have respawned, and Pyro's going to do a little bit of damage to that bottom tower. Sable, no, he's going to get charged. No. Just missed, and Sable's going to get out with just 1 bar of health, 150
but you
health.
can see another example of That1Team's great collapsing when the fight needs to happen. If one of their teammates is called out, they just immediately come to their defense. And like you see the situation, I mean, if Yuri is hiding behind a turret, that is not him at his most effective. So this is definitely the strength of That1Team's play style in this particular match. They're doing a lot of pushing on that top turret there. They got it down to a very, very low amount. Celsi's going to try and engage on the monkeys, trying to counter-engage with the bubble. They put down the rift and the mine, but it looks like no pick is going to come from that. But yeah, the blue team just has to try and do something. They have to play somewhat aggressive, because otherwise the utility of Yuri is just going to go down. You can't just sit behind a turret and expect to be very effective.
And that's where I feel like their team comps kind of conflict. You have 2 really good pushers and, pokers that are great at defending and getting some push, like Chucho and Raylan, but then you have someone who needs the area control. Like, otherwise he's almost useless, like Yuri. So they have to play an aggressive playstyle. Like, they have to keep the push up. Like, they have the time rift, they have the bike. They can keep throwing those out and try to keep the push up, but they're playing a little more defensively, and Yuri is suffering because of that. So Sable's going to have a bit of a rough time this match unless they can get some serious advantage here. And with the 5-0 that's happening right now in terms of kills, and with the money disadvantage, I don't know if that's going to happen. And the red team's already got a tower advantage, and the bottom tower might go down soon. So we'll have to see, but we do see a really nice up here. We got flash forward coming out onto Yuri, so that'll be plenty of extra movement speed for him and his teammates in the team fight. So Yuri might actually be able to do something now in the team fights, just kind of go.
That is one of the, I think that's one of the better upgrades you can get if you're hoping that there's a good initiation coming out there. Oh, but Hala he snipes while he's still pushing down the bottom turret. Gets that ball. Good thing that thing is always off cooldown, and that's a good engagement. You see there's another fight going on. Celsi might go down to the time bomb. Oh, just survives with an inch of health remaining. That flash forward, you can see the last couple fights almost looked like they were going PubPlays' way, and then they ended up not. That's really their only hope, is utilizing that flash forward to their advantage. That is how you can try and be aggressive. You can try and make up for that usual playstyle. Oh, there's the flash forward coming out there. The sticky bomb might get it this time.
Oh, wow.
Goodness.
50 health. Oh, despair for that Chucho.
That's gotta be heartbreaking, right when you think, oh, we finally got a clean engagement, but that's partially because of the level difference. That's partially because of the difference that's happened just due to the momentum that That1Team's already gotten. So they're trying their best, but it's definitely an uphill climb from here on out coming from PubPlays.
Yeah, right here we see a bunch of upgrades coming out on Coco. We got more damage on Lightning Ball, making that 2 stages, Wetsuit, which is going to be a bit of lifesteal, and the extra movement speed while using Blaze. So Coco is going to be fantastic at just doing hit and run tactics or chasing. So she can just use Blaze to just go in, throw a 700 damage Lightning Ball at their faces, and then just get out with basically no repercussions, as they don't really have any lockdown, like Swiggins, for example.
Right,
So,
and that's like a perfect counter to that flash forward as well. I mean, when you talk about Yuri kind of going in and trying to engage, Hala on Coco has now got one of the best disengage abilities in the game, so that's definitely a good counterpoint.
And yeah, we're seeing Raylan and Chucho. Chucho's got 1 stage of Sticky Bomb damage, and he's got Boom Gas, so he definitely has some cost-efficient damage, but it's a bit hard to land, and you sacrifice your bike. So we'll have to see if that actually comes into a lot of play during the team fights. And we see Snipe damage and Wraithstone coming out on the Raylan, so no time rift abilities or auto attack quite yet. Usually that's what we see. Harochi's just going in, gonna eat every single mine to the face of the bottom lane. He doesn't care.
That's some confidence, and that's some confidence in particularly in Lux's ability to shield damage right there. He just charges in with reckless abandon. He also knew the other team wasn't there to follow up.
Yeah, well, he has Castle Ice Cream flavored pacifier, and he has the extra shielding on charge. So, because of the way the math works, and because of his shielding on charge and how the shielded damage works, he has essentially a 35% shield, I believe, on that charge. As Hollis will pick up the kill on Sable. He has a 35 or 40% shield on that charge, and because 45% of all the damage he takes is getting healed at the end of the charge, he has an effective 80 to 90% shield. As long as he doesn't die during the charge, which is absolutely insane. But he sacrifices something like, say, DOT or reduced charge time or maybe speed, because I always like having shenanigans where I run speed and cooldown on charge, and you just have a 6-second charge where you just go across the map every time. That's always fun.
Right, that gets into the nice sticky bomb. They're going to try and isolate Hala so it doesn't hurt anybody else, but that'll be... It looks like Yuri's trying to set back up in the middle, despite the fact that the rest of the team is behind him. Celty tries to...
Sable.
He might get away with the bubble, but it looks like Piracy is there with the Lux to try and cut him off.
Oh, Celty might go down. This might be the first death, and it is.
There we go.
He's going to pick up a kill for Team PubPlays here, man.
Oh, good rift.
Oh, this rift is insane. Pyrocheese is going to go down as well, making that a 2-0, and because of the massive push the blue team has, this is going to be a huge opportunity for them to turn it around. Bike is going to go down as well as the droids, but they can still body the turret. They got another set of droids coming in. It's still about 10 seconds until anyone gets back onto the front lines. Maybe more like 6. And Inferno's not going to be pushing as well. But here comes Celty coming in to save the day with their fantastic wrist gun thingamajig and clearing that top lane. I'm good with words, I promise.
Yeah, I mean, he's just shooting literal balls of fire, or is that plasma? I don't know. Someone more immersed in the Awesomenauts Dojo can tell me about that. But I mean, that's exactly the play that that PubPlays needed to try and at least get some momentum back on their side. You see, Dinosaur's just gonna get away on that Jimmy, but Raylan and Yuri both trying to be aggressive with their positioning, but it might not work out in their favor.
Oh, the lightning ball.
From the ball, that was well performed. I mean, that's exactly the kind of play. Even though it seems like they might be too forward, I mean, that's a fantastic teamwork there. Celti's pouncing it right back into the DOT and the damage from Coco. I mean, it might seem like a very aggressive playstyle, but think about it. I mean, with their backs up against the wall, the only chance really for PubPlays to come back is to play aggressively. Like, you have to, when you're behind, you got to take risks, and when you're ahead, you got to mitigate risks. So that's where you see that one risk paid off, but that ship damage will start to pile up. Oh no, poor Yuri looks like he's caught out. I don't know if he's got a bubble on him right now or not. Doesn't look like it. Oh, and the charge is going to knock him even further back into enemy territory.
All the way downtown. He is gone.
That Solar Boss is gonna do a little bit of helping on that one.
Solar Boss is gonna get a nice meal from that straight into the mouth, just he's gone.
I'm sure. I would be disappointed if that's the only snacking we see in this game. Hopefully, Bob the Worm on Serona gets a little bit.
It has to happen once. Like, if it doesn't, then like the gods will not be appeased.
Absolutely. That's the key of a good tournament. There is a pick in favor of PubPlays. They're gonna try and go in with the man down. But Dinosaur on Chucho rather was knocked out a little bit. He's going to end up being safe. But there is another pick in favor of PubPlays. They're not giving up. They are definitely trying, and they're doing what they can in terms of trying to keep this game competitive. And they've done an admirable job so far.
Yeah, we see Pouchy's throwing out the missiles with the Micey being able to just knock the team back if they try to take advantage of it. Something I'd like to point out in the damage as well is that, surprisingly, Yuri has done the most damage for the blue team. He's been doing some fantastic clear, and his mines have been doing a ton of damage. And Raylan has been suffering a bit in the damage department just because, like, this is why you usually build into auto attack or rift. That way you have a bit more clear than, well, your clear is still amazing as Raylan, even without any damage upgrades. But it's nice to have the auto attack damage just because your upgrades can be really, really good. You can have the piercing auto attack as well as just raw damage in general, and you can have a very, very powerful auto attack as well as HC bomb on rift. So building into something like that is not a bad idea at all. And just having fantastic auto attack damage for pushing as well is fantastic.
Right, I think there are definitely good uses for piercing. I wouldn't say it's always applicable, but I think in this case, the way that one team is grouping up, and the fact that they're very much trying to be invested in keeping the turrets or keeping the droids off their turrets, piercing would definitely be a good thing to both counteract the playing together of that one team. You can do damage to more than one enemy character at a time, and obviously the droids. It looks like Heartshape is stuck being in a hard place, but she's going to try and go for the jump pad.
That was a nice jump there with the jump pad, and was able to get out safely. That was a good play right there.
Using the ceiling to your advantage. It's not always that you want to jump and hit your head on the ceiling, but in this case, it's exactly what you want, and it enabled him to survive. So there you go. Very aggressive engagement coming out from PubPlays, defending that top turret. The Celti is lit, but it looks like Yuri is the one that's going to go down. Dinosaur is stuck. Oh, and it looks like...
the Solar Boss steal. Hollow's going to pick up the kill on Heartshape. That is the wipe. All of the blue team is going to go down. They're going to take Celti with them, but that is still 2-0 for both teams there. And, well, more like 3-1 if you want to count the kills. But 2 people left alive on the red team. They're going to be able to dual push these towers, and both of them are probably going to go down. Yuri is going to be back. Sable is running back right now, but this top tower is definitely going to go down. And this bottom one is going to go down as well, most likely. Sable's going to come in and defend with that laser, but Hala is right behind him, so one good lightning ball can just send Sable flying straight into that Jimmy, but it's going to miss. Hala's going to choke, and here comes Heart-Shaped and Dinosaur, but the snipe is going to miss as well. 2 whiffs for both teams.
Oh, we got Sticky Bomb.
Sticky Bomb might kill him. It is going to kill him. And Dinosaur is going to pick up the kill onto Hala finally, but the retaliation, Pyrochi is going to pick up the kill onto Dinosaur, making that a 1-for-1.
And this was the philosophy of that one team in their picks, is that, yeah, they don't have a lot of, ranged push or clear, at least not as much as what it looks like blue team has, but their philosophy is if they win a fight and they can get a wipe like they just did, then they can push as much as they want, and that's exactly what happened. They took down one turret easily. They're almost about to take down the next one now. They're going to have to retreat until another time, but that obviously is permanent damage. That is...
Yeah, we see Celti and Pyrochi now pushing in through the bottom lane, and they're going to be doing a decent amount of damage to those droids there. Heartshape throwing out the timer, lightning ball coming out, Sable going to take a good chunk of damage. Here comes the charge, and Celti going to go down to Dinosaur, actually, making that another kill for the blue team. I don't feel like they could make this back. They could probably bring it back if they had like a ton of good kills, because they do have great push, so they could just, push it right back into red team's face and have a ton of push and get those auto attack upgrades and just keep snowballing. But it's going to be very, very hard for them to do that. But if they play super smart and cautious and keep staggering the red team, it's possible. But Penny is going to be back, making that the full force of the red team coming back. They're going to have to retreat to the bottom lane, but they are all sticking together, making sure that nobody goes astray, nobody goes down. Going to be clearing those droids with great proficiency. And Celti actually going to do a little bit of damage
with the giant frog. Oh boy, in the bubble coming out, there's a lot of damage coming out. Looks like the sniper's going to get a kill, so that's one. Oh, but blue team is lit. They're going to have to try and get away. Another sticky bomb, but it looks like Chucho's going to go down. Now Yuri's in a really awkward position. He can't even get back to the base.
Shielding on Jimmy is just brutal.
It means so much damage is just totally nullified, and that Yuri is going to
they both ate that mine. Heartshaped is going to go for the snipe, actually having flashy glasses without extra, and just going to go down, and that's going to be the wipe. And 2 members of the red team still left alive, and they're going to push this court and most likely win. Chucho is back, so he might be able to defend in time, but there's so much push. Penny doing 132 damage per shot there, and Pyrochi's to be able to do plenty of damage. That shielding is absolutely brutal.
It's crazy.
That is insane.
And the ball coming in, that was fantastic. That might end it. He's going to try and stall and come in with a bubble and a mine. It looks like that will not be enough. And this round goes in favor of that one team. That was definitely an entertaining game. I think you saw the differing philosophies. We alluded to it several times of the directions that you can take your team in. So you had already mentioned that, the point of this kind of team fight centric team on that one team side is about, you don't have a lot of ranged push and clear, but once you get, the whole point is you win the fights enough that you just get pushes that way because there's no one to contest you. The other side here for PubPlays, what they were hoping for and what they were doing at the very end was because their push and their range damage was so strong. If they got any kind of advantage in team fights, when they did get it, they could take advantage of it for more push than That1Team could. So that was kind of the differing philosophies. On one side, you have let's just win a bunch of fights and push that way. The other one was we only have to win a couple fights to really win the push. So it's kind of an interesting differing schools of thought there. And I think I'm not sure if one of them is strictly better than the other, but in this case, the execution.
I feel like the team names are almost kind of fitting in this case, because the team on the left, That1Team, has like the team fight centric comp, and it's kind of like, you know, the comp team. Like it's the team that it's the kind of team composition you see a lot where they win the team fights and they have decent poke and push, nothing spectacular, but it's good enough that if they keep winning the team fights, they'll win. PubPlays has the kind of comp that you would see people run in pubs because there's not as much coordination, and like you can start steamrolling really, really fast with all that push. But if you have coordination, those teams could still work, but they're a lot harder to pull off against another team who really knows what they're doing and has comms, and they know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what comp they want. They know who they want to ban in drafts. Like, it's a lot harder to run a kind of team like that in a competitive match. But the team could still have worked. I feel like Yuri was kind of the weird pick there. He could definitely work on Ribbit, and if they had played more aggressive with their push and their abilities, then maybe they could have secured more ground, and then Yuri could have been really potent. But a better pick might have been something like, Swiggins. That's great against squishy, agile knots like Coco or Penny or Froggy, and Froggy got banned out. Or you could just go for something a little more supportive or just a little more setup, like someone like Genji as well, as Genji didn't get banned at all, and although he's not in his direct prime anymore, he's been nerfed a little bit. He's still definitely a really good character just because of the cocoon and just being able to lock people down for 2 seconds.
Right, absolutely. And I definitely think that in this case, they were kind of counting on the area control being enough because it was Ribbit. But the thing is, they didn't really have much synergies in terms of getting people there. There wasn't much displacement. There obviously wasn't a Skoldir or a Leon. Both those characters got banned, but by different teams. So it was a little bit awkward to kind of force them. And the way the teamwork from That1Team was working out, they were just playing around it so well, and they were being so aggressive with their team fight centric comp that the opportunities to take control of mid and take advantage of that area control, they just weren't revealing themselves that much. And so PubPlays just weren't available. They weren't able to take advantage of them as much as they would have liked.
Definitely. But I think we've been talking about this match for long enough, and we're going to be ready to hop into the next match. So I believe we'll have another quarterfinals match for you guys coming up. So stay tuned with us until after the break. We'll see you then.